Hello everyone, thanks for joining me for the March of 2023 Taroscope with Animal Totem and Astrology, because this is the big month of the year that we've all been talking about. We've all been anticipating, we've all been waiting on. It's finally here, and there are some big astrological events that I do want to talk a little bit about before we go into the sign-by-sign tarot reading for the month. So yeah, this is the month. There's two big things happening. The one big thing that's happening is Saturn is going to move into Pisces. Saturn has been in Aquarius, and it's going to move into dreamy Pisces. And that's happening on the 7th, which is the same day as the Virgo full moon. So big events happening there. Now on this one, I didn't do a separate video, but there's a lot of separate videos, other videos out there regarding this Saturn into Pisces. But the last time that it was there was from 1994 to 1996, and it can be really beneficial to go back and think about your life during those time frames, because astrology is a wheel. It's a cycle. It goes round and round, and it comes back to the same spot again. So what was going on for you, if you're old enough, to remember, or you were even an adult at that time? What was going on in 1994 and 1996 for you? Because this is something that you can look back on and reflect on. And because Saturn is the lord of the karma and a very karmic planet, it can be a karmic cycle is definitely coming to an end. Now where it falls in your house and your chart is going to be different for everybody. And I am, by the way, offering these Aries Ingress readings till the end of this month only. And this is the only transit readings I ever offer. Transits meaning I look at your chart like this, and it's still a psychic reading. But if you order the Aries Ingress reading, I will look at these big transits as they relate specifically to your chart. It's not just the Aries point. It's what's going on. It's a snapshot of the energy. And there's also going to be a new moon in Aries just after the Aries Ingress. So there's this powerful Aries energy. But let's back up to this. So Saturn in Pisces, more dreamy. It can be, some people can say you can get lost in the dreaminess, but usually Saturn can bring structure, it can bring foundations. So it could be something that's only been merely a dream that guides are coming through with right now. Merely a dream can be substantiated and come into reality. I was thinking because Saturn is going into Pisces, the ruler of Pisces, you always look to the rulerships, okay? And the rulership of Pisces is the sign of the planet Neptune. Neptune is all about spirituality, it's all about creativity, and it could really be substantiating something, a creative idea. But I was thinking back, Neptune is also music and film. I didn't look into the film much, but I was thinking about the music, because back in the early 90s, that's when the grunge thing started happening, and rock music anyway, which was the popular music of the time pretty much. So we were coming out of this metal, which I like a lot of the metal stuff, but it did become rather redundant. It became just one hairband after another, and it was kind of the same, it was done, it was played out. And so then we moved in, that was all glam and, a lot of makeup and loud, and then the grunge thing was all stripped down, getting more into the Pisces, getting more into like true emotions, true creative, artistic expression. That's another thing. And here we are again, we're at this other moment in popular music where everything's auto-tuned, and that same, the high, then the those little hi-hatty, tinkly cymbals. I've just had enough of it, all right? I had enough of it when it first started, and I think I'm hoping that maybe that whole auto-tune, that whole electronic, sounding aquarium thing, maybe other people are going to be, that can be played out as well. And then another new refreshing chapter in music could happen where it is more about, instead of going more and more into the electronic and space-agey thing and drum machines and everything's computerized, to a more organic human feel, because that's definitely the realm of Pisces. Also of channeled music, and music being, not something that's figured out digitally, but something that comes through your soul, So that's one thing that I kind of thought of real quickly. The other thing that's happening, and this is really big news too. Okay, well, on the 20th we have the Aries Ingress, so that's the next thing on the calendar. So the 7th, we've got the full moon, and then Saturn moves into Pisces. I was saying it was on the 8th, but I did look it up, and it's on the 7th. I imagine it'll be on the 8th in some parts of the world, but in the U.S. it should be on the 7th. So that's a big day. Mark your calendars for March 7th. Then we get into the 20th. That's the Aries Ingress. This is the annual new year. The astrological chart, the wheel of the chart, starts with Aries. That's the first sign of the zodiac. And it goes all the way around to the last sign of the zodiac, which is Pisces. So when every year, when the sun moves into the Aries Ingress point, this is what this is called, or any of the cardinal ingresses, first of all, signal the seasonal changes. So it'll be spring in the northern hemisphere and fall in the southern hemisphere. So this happens every year, but every year there's other things going on. And this year is a doozy. You know, there's so much going on. But it is like the new year. It's where we start over on the wheel again. We start from the last sign of Pisces and we move into the new year. And in the northern hemisphere, it's apparent with the weather in the spring and everything's blossoming and blooming and growing. So that happens every year. Again, this year's going to be a big one. And then right on the next day, at least in where I'm at, could be different in other places. It might even be the same day because it's a new moon at 0 Aries. So that's even really more powerfully signaling this big new beginning. A new moon at 0 degrees of Aries. Because 0, just like the wheel goes round and round with the astrology, so does the degrees. We start at 0 and we go through 29 and it starts over again. So big changes. We've got, you know, the Pisces is going, Saturn in Pisces is going to be at 0 degrees. The Pluto in Aquarius is going to be at 0 degrees. The new moon in Aries at 0 degrees. We're going to have the Aries Ingress at 0 degrees. Yeah, and then the last thing is the biggest thing of all, that the Pluto moves into Aquarius. Now this hasn't happened since the late 1700s. And I did do an entire video just on the Pluto, and I'll leave a link in I'll put it as the end thing, a little thing where you can click on it, a video link. This is huge. This is a huge, huge shift. Now, none of us living in this body anyway, we may have had past lives at this time. You know, I really feel like a lot of people living in America, I don't know if I mentioned this in the Pluto video, but I really do feel that a lot of people living in America now, in the 2020s, I feel like we were here at that time too. Like we were a part of, and I'm hearing the word ratification. You know, we were here at we were part of this founding fathers thing, and now we're also here again as a soul collective or a group incarnation, as to be a part of this ushering in this next phase, at least in the United States, because this was huge in the United States. This is when we got our independence and we became a separate country from England. But it was also huge in some other places. This was the storming of the Bastille. There was a lot of uprising and stuff. So we may feel some of that energy again, but definitely a big shift. Again, since we weren't alive in this body in the 1700s, we can look back to the last time Pluto made a big move, from when it moved from Sagittarius into Capricorn, and that was back into 2008. Of course, there was all the, you know, the financial collapses and all sorts of things going on with that. So big changes will be happening. Again, I did a whole video on it, so I'm not going to dive too deep in it. I might bring it up as we go through the individual signs, but primarily this is going to be your psychic tarot reading with Animal Totem. So let me move the astrology stuff aside and do mention that it is a psychic astrology reading, and that we are going to be using, of course, my Rock and Roll Tarot deck. The featured guest deck, you might say, for this month is going to be the Chrysalis Tarot. And this is by paintings by Holly Shera and written by Tony Brooks. Really cool deck. I love it. And then we're going to pull an Animal Totem from my Beast Mistress Animal Oracle cards. And if you're a Patreon subscriber, I mean, not Patreon, we're not doing that anymore. Well, if you're a Patreon subscriber, there is a mid-month update reading available. But the other thing we're going to pull today is one of each of my lots. These are casting lots. They're fun to play with on your own. There's the lots of love, the lots of answers, and then there's the lots of for Proverbs. That's the third thing. This is the one I was looking for. Quick announcements for me. I want to wish all the happy birthday to all our Pisces friends and all our Aries friends. You know, Pisces, Aries, both of you guys are having big events this month too. We'll get to that when we get to your reading. Featured reading, of course, is going to be this Aries Ingress reading, only available till the end of March. Like I said, it's the Aries Ingress reading, and it's interesting. There's a lot of interesting stuff in this chart. There's a Jupiter conjunct Chiron in the sign of Aries. But also, these things will be taken into account. So if you're wondering, well, how would this Pluto in Aquarius and Saturn in Pisces affect me personally? this is the time to get, because these are the only ones that I actually run your chart for. The rest of them I just do mostly cards and read out of the ephemeris, you know. But this will be your wheel and the ingress wheel on the outer ring. So a few more announcements for me. The Transmissions for Humanity Book 3 is out. This is the third in the series, and if some of you have been tuning in or watching later, we're going through live, and we're doing every Sunday the live transmissions through Book 1, and we're going to work our way through. But if you haven't checked them out yet and would like to, they're available in print and Kindle and Audible. Another thing is my Divine Goddess mandalas, which was one of my most popular, not only popular for my notebooks that people you can get, but also a popular t-shirt design. Now I have them on pillows, and I put them on, I'm put up on the image on the screen. I do have, I did them on my couch. I'm redoing my couch. I'm going to do it in a bunch of different colors. I'm halfway done, but I wanted to show how cool they look, and they're really good quality. They're very good quality. I was surprised how good quality they are, and they're very full. They're actual pillows too. It's not just a pillowcase. It's an actual pillow, and they're very full, and they're really stuffed well. And also, the design is on both sides, because sometimes you order pillows and the print design is only on one side. Both sides feature the design, so I'm really happy with how they turned out, and check them out if you're interested. Last but not least, you are watching Vickie Verlie, and I am at vickieverlie.com, and I am the Rock and Roll Prophetess on YouTube. Do not be fooled by imposters. Okay, now without further ado, let's get on to the individual readings, and we're going to start with the sign of Aries. Yeah, Aries, this is your time. Happy birthday. Even if you're Aries, sun, rising, moon, whatever, you know, any Aries placements in your chart, you're going to be feeling this energy. As you do every year with the Aries Ingress, but also it's going to be your new moon, and your new moon is your most powerful time. I just remembered that I forgot to make a little list here so I can check the things off. But the Aries is your most powerful time. Every year you get one new moon and you get one full moon. And this is always going to be your most powerful time, your solar new year, your most powerful time for manifestation. It doesn't always come right next to the Aries Ingress. So this is really, I'm hearing the word super duper. It is super duper Aries energy popping for you right now. Even though some of, like, Saturn's moving into your 12th house, which can be, you know, considered maybe a little stifling or something like this. This is your power time of the year, so make use of it. Start your new beginnings. Do what you need to do. Okay, what is up for Aries for the month of March? We're going to have the Three of Rods, the Five of Swords, and finally the Chariot. Okay, and then now we're going to pull some cards from the Chrysalis Tarot as well. Let's get these in a nice spot where you guys can see them really well. What is up for our Aries friends for the month of March? Is that 3 cards? 2. And then one more here. And then, well, I'm going to do it like this, and then we'll add the animal totem after. It's funny when I saw this Two of Scrolls, as they put it, which is I have that somewhere. Where did I put that? The scrolls are actually the rods or staffs, or there's one more word for it, but I can't think of it right now. But anyways, you know, when I saw this and that winged Pegasus, it reminded me I thought, I didn't see the writing. I thought, oh, you got the Chariot twice. Because it really reminds me of that, this winged flying. So major success, major movement forward can be happening for you now, Aries. Your ship is coming in. The only thing, there's some blockages. And you may have to, you know, be a little, I kind of feel like this might be you. And normally this is not the greatest card. This is like, you know, somebody's you don't get along with them and you just go your separate ways. But it might be that you need to take that stance. This is the time of new beginnings. Not to be a jerk about it, you know, not to be overly cocky or mean in any way, but just to say, you know what, I don't want to participate in this anymore. I'm going to be moving on, because the Chariot is definitely a card of moving on, moving upward. And then you have the Two of Scrolls, which is actually a great card of seeing the way you want to go, seeing your path in life. And it's got the horse on it, the Pegasus, so that's like movement. Chariot is movement. And then you have the Healer, the Page of Mirrors. So the Page of Mirrors is actually the Page of Cups. But she's definitely, you know, in her abundance. She's doing her beekeeping. She's very much in abundance. She's very much found her niche, or she's found her place, or she's found the thing that really lights her up or makes her happy. And then she's only focusing on that at this time. But there comes the Ten of Stones. There comes that money. That's the being financially secure, being solid, being in a secure place financially, and feeling very, you know, abundant in that arena. What was I going to say about her too? Oh, you know, the swords are not the swords. I keep wanting to say the swords, but it's actually the mirrors or the cups. This is Pisces energy, you know. So you could be getting downloads while just doing whatever, beekeeping or whatever you might be, your thing of interest. It feels like it's something like, because this money's creeping up on her. It's like she's not trying to solve a problem or be like, oh, well, what can I do for money? She's just like, you know, I love playing in the field with my bees and everything and collecting the honey. And as she's doing that, it's raising her vibration and it's raising her attraction, and it's attracting this money in. But it may come in the form with the Pisces energy, which is also the 12th house to Aries. It may come in the form of just some kind of spiritual download, spiritual insight that you get, or something that you're just following the path because you really don't know why, just because you like it. There's no big plans involved. It's just because you like it, just because you enjoy it. All right, let's get our Aries animal totem for March of 23. Got the goat. Well, the goat, often we'll talk about Capricorn too, but the goat also likes to climb that mountain. And the goat is a worker. The goat will eat those tin cans. They'll chew up the tin cans. They'll do whatever they have to do to get to that top of that mountain. Okay, I also, a lot of times I feel like this is Capricorn energy too, so there could be a Capricorn involved. Okay, so independent, ambitious, rugged, curious, unfaltering perseverance and determination, climbing to new heights, top of the heap, overcoming obstacles and success after hard work. Yeah. You know, this is also a card of partnerships, and not everybody's going to come along. It doesn't always work that way. I know we like to watch these, what am I talking about? You know, we have our people and we want to work together and we like working with them. Aries, you're always the trailblazer. You're always that one that's going to step out in the crowd and take go your own path. And especially around this time of year. Okay, first let's get our lots for you guys. So the first one is going to be the lots of love. So if any of you are asking about love, and again, these are so fun to play with at home. You can pull a lot or pull a little and ask questions. You know, it's fun. There's like 80 something of these to choose from. So you've got lonely. Oh, well, you know, it might, if you have to break away. I just heard it's lonely at the top, and my eyes went straight for that goat energy. Well, sometimes it is lonely at the top, but it's not forever if that's the case. It won't be forever. It's, it's a new group of people. You might be breaking from an old group of people or an old paradigm, is what they're saying. Okay, now we're going to do your yes, no, maybe, and your lots of answers. There's 40 something or 30 or 40 different answers. You've got agreed, so that's a yes. And then last but not least, let's get into our lots of proverbs. And this is just a little bit of wisdom, a little saying or parable or whatever that, may give you some little insights here. What do we got here? It says, get out while the getting's good. Oh, wow. Well, yeah, there's something here. There's something here that many Aries, if this doesn't resonate, watch your rising moon or whatever. But, and the minute you do, it feels like just the minute you break out of this, then a lot of things are really going to start moving. You're going to see the money. You're going to be able to see your creative flow. And, this goat energy over here also is really cool, too. Okay. All right, well, let's move this stuff out of the way. I'm going to move. We're not going to repeat the parables or the animal totems. So these are going to get put aside. The other ones, they'll go back in. Where's the correct bags here? There we go. And while I'm doing this, you can kind of meditate on your questions. If you are Taurus, who's going to be coming up next, kind of meditate on your questions and kind of think about, what you're zone in on, what you're talking about. Now, you guys are not directly involved in any of this stuff. like it's not, nothing's moving into your sign. However, the nodes, the south node is still traveling, the north node is still traveling through your sign. It's making a lot of contacts with your chart. So, you know, you may still benefit from taking a look at this transit chart, which is the Aries Ingress, because, and these transits are happening somewhere in everybody's chart. So it's not just about if it's your sign or not. It's somewhere in that wheel, you have those placements, every single one of them. So if you get that reading, we'll take a look at it. All right, let's go ahead and move on for Taurus for March 1, 2, and 3. We've got the Wheel of Fortune, nice. 7 of Swords, or Rods, and then the 5 of Cups from Rock and Roll Tarot. Now we're going to move over to our Chrysalis Tarot. By the way, links to all these decks and everything are available in the video description, if you would like to purchase them and work with them for yourself. Okay, Chrysalis Tarot, Chrysalis Tarot. 1, 2, and 3. We've got the Knight of Stones, so that's the Knight of Pentacles. Buddy, come here, don't start barking. No, no. And then we've got the Mime, which is the Page of Spirals, which is, spirals are rods. And then we've got the 7 of Scrolls, which is the 7 of Swords. Yeah. So you've got everything that's happening, because you guys might be going through a little bit of a dark night of the soul, because we do have this 5 of Cups here. This is, you know, feeling down, feeling disappointed, having a lot of struggle. You know, when these two cards come together, a lot of times it can mean like, you know, this struggle, it's just like you just don't see any end in sight. It's just like it's Groundhog Day. Every day I'm going through these every day I'm hustling, but I'm hearing suffering. Every day I'm suffering. So, yeah, we don't want to get locked into this cycle of suffering. But when the Wheel of Fortune is here, that does say that things could be about to take a turn for the better. You know, Uranus is in your sign. Even though nothing's changing signs into your sign this month, Uranus is firmly in your sign and has been. So there's going to be a lot of twists of fate for Tauruses. And I know you guys in general aren't going to really like that, because you guys are fixed earth signs and you like to be, you know, settled in and all that. But allow for this to happen. If you're stuck in a rut, there's things that are wanting, the universe is wanting to make this thing happen for you. Now, this Page of Stones, this is the Page of Pentacles, so there could be money showing up for you. Now, we are going to be having a full moon in Virgo, which is a fellow earth sign, right on the 7th, the same day that Saturn moves into Pisces. So both of these have, you know, the full moon in Virgo is an earth sign, and you're an earth sign as well, so there's a trine happening. Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, which is earth, and it's moving into a water sign of Pisces, which is harmonious with you. It's a sextile. So there's some, you know, as these astrological wheels turn, so do the tides, they're saying. Then you have the Mime, which is the Page of Spirals, the Page of Rods. There could be news coming in the time of fire about money. Some of you feel like you're out for the count. You may have gotten some disappointing news. You may have gotten some disappointing, because I'm looking at this and it feels like he's shut out, like the doors are closed. Doors are going to be opening for you, Taurus. That's what the Wheel of Fortune says here, and that's also what the Uranus in your sign says too. You've got to kind of move out of your comfort zone a little bit and out of your fixed nature a little bit, you know, and feel what's going on out there, because there's stuff going on. We are in a major shift of energy. The other thing is, because Uranus is in your sign, the planet Uranus is in the sign of Taurus, and Pluto moving into Aquarius, which is the ruler of Uranus, you know, that can send a big kind of a jolt of energy over Taurus way. Plus the Pluto in Uranus is square and everything. Again, if you want me to look at your chart, I will. But that's what this Aries Ingress reading, we're going to look at all that stuff. It's all on the agenda. So if you want to find out about that, you can. I've got too many here. Is it 3? I'm going to take the middle one. The middle one is the Sigil. I was just talking about how crabby and bitchy they're. It's just in case you wanted to know, these were the other two, the bee and the butterfly. Okay, so, but you got this Sigil, and if you, I don't know, I know a lot of people just like tune in for the tarot readings and don't care about the astrology or don't care about the channeling or anything else, but if you are, I was just talking about how these seagulls can be really, they're just so aggressive and kind of assholes, basically. And if you look at the way it's set up to this guy here, you know, it's like, it is like, that can be like the voice in your head. Look how he looks down, this guy looks down, this one's looking down. With the Wheel of Fortune and Uranus in your sign, it's time to look up. Look up here. Well, this could be like the voice in your head saying, you suck, you're bad, you know, the critic and the muse, or the shadow, your shadow self. Okay, joyous wayfarer calling from the sky, edging on this world and another. Coming from a higher perspective, riding the currents of light. I've just realized I don't have my strong glasses on. Let's make that change. Yeah, riding the currents of life. Even though they do squawk and bitch and moan a lot, they do glide. You know, it is a beautiful sight to watch them just gliding on. They're just like suspended in midair. You know, that can also be a thing if you do feel like you're suspended in midair, or this Groundhog Day kind of energy, then, you know, get on that Wheel of Fortune. There's a whole other higher vibration. Uranus is calling you, Uranus in your sign is calling you to those higher vibrations, Taurus. I know it's out of your comfort zone, but it's time. All right, let's get your, not your animal totem, but your lots of love for Taurus. It says split. So some of you, maybe that's what this is about. Maybe you're fighting over your possessions. Maybe some of you went through a split. Of course, it won't apply to everybody, but you know, if it doesn't, look at your rising and moon and all that. Okay, let's get your yes, no, maybe from the lots of answers. It says perhaps, so that's basically a maybe, and there's a piece of fuzz or something on here. What is that? Ew. Let's get that off of there. Ew. What is it? I'm going to get it off. No, I've got most of it off. I'll try to clean it after the video, I guess. And then we're going to pull your proverb, which is just a little bit of wisdom from the lots of proverbs. Okay, let's see here. Taurus. It says, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Yeah, it might be that kind of a time for you guys, you know. But the Wheel of Fortune is coming in. And a note on this Wheel of Fortune, you might be saying, well, there's the two bad cards. You don't count it like that. We don't count it. It's no card is bad or good anyway. But the wheel being a major arcana, the major arcana cards carry more weight. They are a stronger influence. It's a higher cycles that are at work that sometimes we don't see because we are so caught up in our own stuff here that we don't see these bigger, the universe's bigger plans for us, our true fortune, you know, our highest calling. So it's not a, you know, it's a very good card actually. All right, let me put these lots away, and then we're going to move on to the next sign of Gemini. Gemini, you also, it's not like there's anything big in your sign particularly, but again, everybody's going to be affected by this stuff. You know, what's happening that does affect Geminis overall is we're going into this thing with the air signs. It's been many, many years of, I think it's Earth, and now we're going to, it's about this precession of the planets, but air sign people, the vibe is kind of coming your way a little bit more. And when Pluto gets firmly in Aquarius, you know, that is also, Aquarius is a fellow air sign to you. So that's an environment that perhaps you're a little bit more uncomfortable with. And again, these transits are in everybody's chart, somewhere in your wheel. So if you want to find out, this is the ideal time until the end of the month only to get that Aries Ingress, because, or here it is, the reading, because, you know, this is the only time I do the actual astrology chart and really take a deep dive into your astrology, is these Ingress readings. It's still a psychic reading, but with all the astrology that's happening, this might be the time, if you've ever considered getting an astrology reading, to really get one. And also the things that are happening, these are going to be long-term things that are happening. So it's not going to be just about what's happening this week. You know, it's how this may affect you for the upcoming years even, you know. Okay, Gem. Let me get your, write it down over here that we're doing Gemini. And we're going to do our cut for Gemini for March of 2023. Got the Ace of Pentacles, the Hermit, and the, not Page, but the Knight of Pentacles. Next, we're going to shuffle up our Chrysalis Tarot. I realize those are off the screen. I'll get them in a second. I guess I could pull them down now. You guys can look at them, because it's good to look at these cards too and let anything that's on there kind of stand out to you, because that's how you can really get that personal message from these readings. Okay, Gemini, what is coming up for the gems? Gemini. Oops. Knight of Stones, which is the, this one, which is the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Scrolls, which is, the scrolls are the swords, Knight of Swords. Was this the middle one or was this the middle one? I don't know, but I feel like I want to take this card, so I'm going to take this card. The Five of Mirrors, which is the Five of Cups. Five of Cups can be disappointment. This card was in the exact same spot for the last reading, I believe. So Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles paired with the Page of Pentacles, which is the Page of Stones, definitely looks like there's some money coming your way, Gemini. You may have to consult with a lawyer. This Knight of Pentacles is also somebody that's going to be really involved in it. It almost feels like this is the person you'll be working with in the future. But it kind of seems like you have to get through this Hermit energy in order to get to this point. So the Hermit, again, could be like maybe you got to negotiate a contract or talk to the lawyer or this or that. But this could also just be maybe you've been waiting around a while. This could be something like maybe you've been waiting around a while. And I want to jump over to, I feel like maybe the Pluto and Aquarius could really like get things going for you. Although we've got so much Earth energy. Talking about Earth, there is going to be a full moon in Virgo. And that's going to be happening on right at the 7th of the month. And that is the Earth sign energy. Five of Mirrors is the Five of Cups. That is the, the water energy too. And we do it in that same day. Saturn's moving into the water sign of Pisces. So another tie into that date of the 7th. If you have been waiting, isn't the Hermit number 7 too? No, he's number 9. Okay. Oh, what am I hearing? Dun 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 dun, number 9, coming down the Chicago line. Do 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 do. Is that a patty cake song or? Engine, number 9, coming down Chicago line. And now I'm jumping to If He Hollers, Let Him Out. I'm jumping over to different nursery rhymes or kid songs or whatever. But I definitely heard that. Engine, number 9, coming down Chicago line. But then I'm going, If He Hollers, Let Him Go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. But maybe there's something having to do with either Chicago, maybe the job offers in Chicago for somebody out there, or maybe you are in Chicago right now, or maybe something about a train. Excuse me. You may be taking a train, or excuse me, the work that you're involved with might be, some kind of thing, train travel, or maybe you're going to have to take the train to work, if it's something like that, if you live out of the city. But the Five of Mirrors says there's some disappointment. You may have thought, this isn't going to happen. This sucks. I was waiting around for this. But it just feels like, wow, something's going to happen. And I just noticed that there is a sun and a moon on this card, on this Page of Pentacles. So a full moon is the sun opposed to the moon. When the sun and moon interact, those are your new and full moons. So yeah, could be that Virgo full moon. Just 1 second, I want to get just a cough drop, so. I just have a dry cough, it's dry air from having the heat on and everything too. Okay, and then the last card here is the Visionary. They refer to it as the Visionary. And then the King of Scrolls, which is, or the Knight of Scrolls, which is the air sign. This is your card, actually. You are the Knight or the King or the Queen of air, or, scrolls. It's swords. You're sitting there looking, this is night, usually it's a lot of action, but he's sitting there looking pretty happy. And the bird, there's that seagull again, isn't it? Oh God, these seagulls, they're coming after me because I said on the other video how they were such jerk-offs. But what it reminded me of initially is the Nine of Pentacles. If you're familiar with the Nine of Pentacles, let's see if I can pull her out. And it has this air of just being content, sitting there with the bird, not really doing a whole lot, just sitting there and contemplating, because the Nine of Pentacles also has, a bird there. It reminded me of that very much. And it's a different, each deck has a different feel to it, and it definitely feels that way. Where normally, again, the Knight of Swords is action, action, action. He's just kind of sitting there content. kind of waiting to see what happens. And the Hermit can be a card too, of like maybe it's not time to rush into a whole bunch of stuff right now. So you are manifesting something. You're manifesting some kind of, where you're sitting on this accomplished. This feels like, yeah, I've accomplished this. Here I am. Now I'm in the place that I really want to be. So you're definitely able to accomplish things and find some kind of feeling that you are established or settled too, with all these pentacles, like possibly in your financial arena. Okay, let's go ahead and get your animal totem. This is going to be the animal totem for our Gemini friends. And this is for the month of March of 2023. Amidst all the change, howling at the moon with the wolf card. You know, the wolf is also not only about howling at the moon and all that. It's very much about finding your pack. But here we go again. What's he howling at? The full moon. That full moon in Virgo is coming up all over the place here. And I do feel like that could be a very key time for you guys in some way. Okay. Excuse me. Wild spirit of the wilderness. Impeccable instincts draw your path. Needing freedom to roam far and wide. Embracing the interdependency of all life. Yeah, that's the interdependency. I gotta get another drink of water, sorry. The interdependency, that's that whole part of the pack, like finding your pack. So some of these people, if you're moving into a new position with your work or whatever, some of these people, you know, this could be part of your new pack and new friendships. Again, though, I just can't get over how your card to me just looks so, you know, content and happy. All right, let's get, first of all, your lots of love for Gemini. It says impotent. Ooh, that's no good, huh? But you know, there's some kind of fuzz and stuff in here. What the hey is in here? I just saw a big wad of fuzz. There it is. Look at that. Ew. Get rid of that. What is up for Gemini? For a yes, no, maybe question for our Gemini friends. It says a yes. I mean, you can't get more straightforward than that. Yes, yes indeed. And then finally, are lots of proverbs. A little bit of information or advice. You got, what goes up must come down. Spinning wheel got to go round. You know, when I read this, and right away I want to go to the Hermit here, and I feel like for some people, you may have been waiting because the job was filled by somebody else, or they went with somebody else and didn't go with you, and perhaps that's why you were a little upset or bummed out. I feel like they went with somebody else and they realized they made a mistake or it didn't work out. So it's almost like for some people out there, there's going to be like they're out and you're in. So you're out with the old and in with the new. So if it's something that like that where you're like, no, I already heard somebody else got the job, it's done. It ain't over till it's over. It might not be done just yet. Okay. All right, Gemini, well, thanks for coming out and tuning in. Don't be sure to take a listen to your sun, rising, and moon, because all are relevant here in this wheel of life in these turbulent times. The guides are coming through at these turbulent times. Okay, let's go ahead and get on to the next sign after Gemini, which is going to be Cancer. Let me write that down. All right, Cancer, again, because you are one of the cardinal ingress people. Let me pull the chart out really quick again. So yes, we're having this big Aries ingress. The cardinal ingresses are Aries, Libra, Capricorn, and Cancer. So you are a member of the cardinal cross. And whenever the sun crosses over these points, we start a new season. Yours will be the next one in June. We'll have your Aries, not Aries, but cardinal ingress of the summer solstice or winter, depending on your location. So you absolutely feel these Aries things every time. I mean, you feel everything. You're going to be in line with the trine with the Pisces energy as the Saturn moves into Pisces. Okay, then I'm going to take the top card. These were flying out, so we're going to let them fly. Let them rip. So much astrology. Again, much astrology for everybody. If you want to get your chart done, the Aries Ingress reading until the end of the month. We'll go over all of it. We go over the Pluto, we go over the Saturn, and any other big transits that you're going through, which there's always going to be something. It's always something. All right. Cancer. Last two for Cancer. That's you, by the way, the one that flew out, Queen of Mirrors. That's the Queen of Cups, whether you're male or female. We've got 4 of Spirals or 4 of Rods, and 4 of Scrolls, which is, I think, is the 4 of Swords. Yeah, you have the 4 of Swords twice. We definitely have to note this, because you've got the 4 of Swords here and the 4 of Swords here. I love these illustrations are just beautiful. You know, instead of looking like they're maybe dead or comatose or something here, they look like she's having like a beautiful dream, you know. So I like a lot of the illustrations from this deck very much so. It's a very magical deck. I use it a lot for myself. Okay, so there's some big decision that has to be made, but clearly we've got to hold off on this. When you got the 4 of Swords twice, it's like, let's just hold on. Let's just cool our jets. Let's get all the things in a row. Let's get all the information. And the High Priestess is also a card of, not a card of action. It really is not. It's a card of being intuitive. It's not your card in the tarot, I don't believe, but I do really associate it with you often because of all the moon energy. There's moons all over here. And 2 is the sign of the moon. It might be your sign. I don't think it is, though. But I use it associated with you. It might not officially be your card. I think the Chariot is officially your card, but I absolutely associate this card with you, and because of the moon energy, and I absolutely associate this card with the sign of Pisces too, because of the moon intuitive energy. So we got that Saturn moving into Pisces. You definitely are going to be getting a lot of intuitive downloads during this time, these next few years. You know, it might feel like your energy is zapped. Sometimes when this Pisces stuff comes in, like what happened, something moved back into Pisces for a minute. Was it Jupiter? Yeah, when Jupiter moved back into Pisces, I felt really kind of zonked, and I was sleeping a lot. You know, but when I look at this, my card here, the 4 of Swords, the healing really stands out to me. So it may be something that you just need it. You need the rest. You know, I always try to listen to your body. I mean, yeah, sometimes it can be depression, but maybe you really do need that rest. Maybe you need to take that rest, take that time. And from a well-rested perspective they're coming through with, you can make these important decisions. You can have clarity of mind and heart, they're saying. Clarity of mind and heart. So this is you, the watcher. And that's also, you know, the watcher kind of implies holding back. You're watching. It's not a card of acting, it's a card of watching. Can't help but notice the full moon back there, and we're going to have that full moon in Virgo in your sextile to you, in your earth sign sextile energy. And then this wise owl is there, indicating wisdom. Also because the name is the Watcher, and even her stance, standing on the hill, kind of looking down, reminds me very much of the Hermit card. Because the Hermit is in that stance. He stands on top of the hill and he looks down. So it does, this whole spread really has that vibe and has that feel. I wanted to try to grab the Hermit out of here to show you guys real quick. Out of my mini Rider-Waite-Smith deck here, the tiny one. Where? Sometimes I miss it. I'll try one more time, we'll find it. But it has that stance of standing back, taking stock, listening to your soul, not listening to the noise of the people around you or the city or town below you. Here, yeah. Isn't that kind of that same? And she has the staff even, and he's got the light in his lantern, but she's got the light of the moonlight. You know, I would say definitely try to go out. I get chills on that one. Still getting them. I don't know if you can see all the goosebumps. I would try to get out on that full moon in Virgo, under the moonlight. The serious moonlight. What is that? Under the moonlight, the serious moonlight. I don't know. It's a song. Because I feel like you could really, everything's indicating High Priestess, 4 of Swords twice. This one with the Hermit energy. Well, even if you take the Hermit stance away, the Queen of Cups in herself, and the regular, you know, the original tarot, she's looking into the cup. You know, she's contemplating. She's not running around like a chicken with her head cut off. You know, she's really contemplating and doing her spiritual work. Okay, the four spirals can indicate, you know, moving to a new home, doing something, maybe just staying at home, maybe staying home and fixing up your house or doing something in your home. It could be a new, if you're waiting for a new house, it may be showing up in 4. We got 3 4s here. So it could be in the 4th month of April that you may see the developments for this house, or for whatever you're trying to really get going here. I imagine you could, you know, count that as. Okay. Let's go over here and get our animal totem for our Cancer friends. Cancer sun, rising moon, or anybody with the Cancer chart is the dolphin. You know, the dolphin is some really high vibing energy. I'm going to talk. I hope you can hear me, but I'm going to go close these doors over here, so some of the outside noises aren't creeping in so much over here. But yeah, the dolphin energy is a very high vibing energy. The dolphin energy is even considered like ET at some time, but when you're in your dream state, or when you're in the state of resting, or even like meditating, or, you know, trying to get these, you know, this is what's trying to come through. And you'll be able to connect with that, but you have to first slow down, slow your roll. That's what they're saying. Maybe slow your roll a little bit. And the dolphin is also a promise of happier days are coming. You know, dolphins are very high vibing, happy creatures. Okay, it says optimist, clairaudient, spirit guide, starseed. See, spirit guide. This is all these things we're talking about. Joyous interactions of fun and play, sexuality, caring for those less fortunate, embracing personal freedom while respecting others' choices. Yeah. If you rest, if you give yourself this time to rest and reflect and go within, especially maybe just around that full moon, that might be all it takes. It might have to be, I know we have a life, we can't just, you know, do nothing all the time. Then this high vibe and really cool energy could come in and come through for you. And you could really get some higher, you could feel much more invigorated and happy even, like the dolphin, you know, rested, well rested, and happy. All right, let's get your love thing here. Lots of love. It says combative. So, you know, maybe the world outside is, you've been in a combative situation for some, or maybe the world outside just seems rather combative. Maybe you do need to. You know, Cancers, you guys have to go in your shell sometimes. Sometimes the crab goes into its shell, and it needs that time for rest and rejuvenation. And then for your yes, no, maybe it says cloudy. So we don't know. And then last but not least, your lots of proverb with your message for just a little bit of wisdom. It says, jealousy is the green-eyed monster. Yeah. If you've been experiencing jealousy, that's why you got to bring it back home to yourself. Whatever you're maybe jealous of or, you know, envious of, it's not for you. So, but if you come back here to yourself, you can find what's for you. And it's a much higher vibe than any sorrow or anything you might be going through. It's a much higher vibe. You could really get some higher perspective about a lot of things, about how things went down. And, you know, because here's another thing about Saturn and Pisces for everybody. It can talk about the past. It's going to bring up stuff from the past. It can. It definitely can. And especially the things that are coming up from the past, because it's Saturn, the Lord of the Karma. You know, we're talking about some karmic things here. But you're going through a big healing. That is the big message. Allow yourself to have this time of healing so that you can rejoin your group or your, however they refer to it here, I already forgot. But yeah, you can rejoin society, you know, it refreshed and rejuvenated. Okay. All right. Let me move this aside, and I'm going to go over here and write Leo. First, we're going to start with the Rock and Roll Tarot deck. Shuffling for Leo. This will be for Leo Sun, Sign, Rising, or Moon. Anybody who has Leo in any prominent placements in their chart. Again, you know, with this Aries Ingress reading to look into all these transits, you have stuff everywhere. And particularly Well, the Aries stuff is going to be in harmony with you and your fire energy. But also, as Pluto goes into Aquarius, now it's just going to be in there for a few months, and then it takes a long time. It takes, you know, a couple, 300 years for Pluto to go through. So, it's a long time thing. But, if you have any planets in Leo, maybe not right now, but over the next several years, Pluto's in Aquarius, that's the opposite sign of yours. So here's, Leo. Where are you, Leo? Here you are. Directly opposite. So Pluto's going to be opposing all your stuff. Anything you have in Leo, it's going to get opposed over this next, several years. Well, it's going to be in there for 20 years, but I mean, it might not take 20 years. You might have a planet right at 0 Leo. You might be getting hit right away, So these are the kind of things that we can take a look at. All right. What's coming up for our Leo friends for the month of March of 2023 for Leo, Sun, Rising, Moon, or anybody who has prominent Leo in your chart? Something's there for the asking. It's there for the asking, the guides are coming through with. Okay. Next we're going to do from the Chrysalis Tarot for our Leo friends. Chrysalis Tarot Leo. Let's see. 1, 2, and 3. We've got Temperance, or the Golden Flower, 9 of Scrolls, which is like 9 of Swords, and then we've got the 5 of Mirrors, which is like the 5 of Cups. You're being called to grab your power and take your power back here. You've got the Magician. This is full steam ahead. Damn the torpedoes, full steam ahead. Everything that you need to accomplish whatever you're trying to accomplish, you have right before you on this table. You have all the tools you need at your disposal. And you are heading towards this 9 of Pentacles. You might have to do it on your own. The 9 of Pentacles is, she's independent. A lot of times this can be your own business or working as an independent contractor. But she's done very well for herself. She's very comfortable. She has money for nice clothes, and she's, sometimes you make a lot of money, but you're so frazzled and, you work your fingers to the bone. What do you get? Bony fingers, She's not working her fingers to the bone. She's established, she's got a nice income, she's got nice clothing, she's got a beautiful bird there, she's got time for music, pleasure. She's at the top of that Maslow's pyramid of hierarchy of success. And there isn't even a pyramid type shape to this, a triangular type shape. You might be suffering from, this is that imposter syndrome, feeling not worthy, feeling not good enough. And it does line up right with the 9 of Swords. The 9 of Swords in the regular tarot is the one where all the swords are lined up and she's up at night crying and everything. But she's, you may feel like you're at your wit's end. You may feel there's no path to it's opening to you, but yet there is. And the Temperance card, it's Golden Flower if you want to look at it, but the Temperance card in most tarot decks is the angel. It's working with your spirit guides and angels. It's co-creating with the universe. Your spirit guides are near. They always are near, and they're always trying to help you and to try to guide you and lead you to this highest empowerment that you could possibly have. I'm trying to find the Temperance in the regular, or this deck, to show you the traditional imagery associated with the Temperance card. This is that the angels and guides and spirit guides are putting it together. This also very much reminds me of the Aquarian astrology, because it's the cupbearer, the water bearer, but also look at the way the water goes in here. Hope I can get it in focus. It's like the Aquarius symbol's right in there. It reminds me very much of the Aquarian energy, the Temperance card. This is a different depiction, but a good one nonetheless. And it even has Pisces on it. So they're associating it with Pisces, perhaps, so 2 fish. But there's higher forces at work. Magician's a major arcana, and so is the Temperance card. There are higher forces at work. There's more to heaven and earth, Horatio, that you can see, Horatio. So there's more things going on than what meets the eye. Just keep doing your work. Just keep going forward. when these little voices creep in your mind, and even the Five of Mirrors, which is the Five of Cups, which is being depressed or looking at, you know, having your head down or feeling, you know, looking at the spilled cups, what went wrong, which is so out of character for you, Leo. Because Leos, you guys are always up, you know, you guys are always up and, you know, raring to go and everything like that. You know, you guys are the most positive, one of the most positive signs of the zodiac. It's not easy to get a Leo down, you know. But, you know, you might have some Virgo in your chart or some Cancer in your chart, you know. Goes both ways. No, both of these, when these two cards too, when they show up together, often that can talk about, you know, having your own business, working independently. So maybe if that's something you haven't considered, you may want to consider. But definitely feeling empowered. Both are cards of empowerment, of standing on your own 2 feet. It's here before you. You're up for this, okay? You are up for this, 100% Leo. Okay, let's get your animal totem. The woodpecker. That means opportunity is knocking. Hear it knocking at your back door. Rapping, tapping from the forest canopy overhead. Undetected if not for the sound. Listen. Primal rhythms awaken your heart to the earth's song. There's opportunity knocking. Absolutely. And even look at the colors. If you notice this, I do. Red, white, and then the robe of the magician. It's like there's some kind of a connection there with these colors. And you know, woodpeckers are pretty independent too. I don't usually see woodpeckers. I see woodpeckers a lot. Well, you hear them more than you see them. That's the whole point of it. See, you hear it. A lot of times you're going to hear it in your soul, or hear it, you know, you hear it somewhere from within, even if you don't see it in the outer world. Don't be like, oh, it's not happening for me, I'm so, you know. Because Leo, one thing, you can be kind of dramatic. You know this, you can do this. You can get a little dramatic, you can get a little bit, it can be a little bit over the top sometimes, Leo. So this isn't the time to be over the top as far as dramatic things are concerned. This is the time to be over the top, like, yeah, me, I'm living my best life, I'm focusing on what I want to achieve, and I'm not going to be deterred. Okay, you might be dealing with the Pisces. These fish keep standing out to me. Or maybe go to an aquarium or somewhere where there's fish. Well, it could be the Saturn going into Pisces. The Saturn goes into Pisces on the 7th, so it could be that too. Okay, let's get your love card for Leos. It says impotent. That came out twice. Wow. Well, I'm just going to leave that there. And we're going to go on to... maybe I should take that one out. You know, we could take impotent in its, you know, the usual form. It's sexual, unable to perform. But we could also take it as this kind of a thing, not sexual at all. As the kind of people that maybe are trying to steal your power or make you feel small. It's because of their own feeling of impotency, not necessarily related to the male organ, but related to their impotency and not being able to, you know, be as good as you or do what they want to do with their life, or, you know, there's a whole bunch of things. Just feeling not good enough. Okay. Yes, no, maybe for Leo. He says affirmative. So that is a yes. And then last but not least, let's get our lots of proverbs. Lots of proverbs. So this one's stuck in my fingers like that. Let's see here. Work smart, not hard. Well, if that isn't the best, so appropriate for, yeah, work smart, not hard. So maybe somebody else is saying, no, well, you can't do that. You have to do this, 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 and this first. That's their shit. That's all their shit. That's not you. You don't have to do anything. You have to work smart, put yourself first, do what you want to do. Don't be deterred by other people. You know, with this stuff too, a lot of times it's like, don't go telling other people all your plans necessarily. Or be careful who you tell your plans to. Because some people, they just want to, there's so many frenemies out there. They say they want to help you and blah, 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 but really they're competing against you, or they really are trying to make you fail or whatever. You know, they don't let the energy out. Don't let the cat out of the bag, they're saying. Until you're already got the gig or whatever this is, then you can say, hey, guess what, dudes? I'm the new CEO later, or whatever, something like that. Okay. All right, I think I might get rid of this impotent one, huh? No, I won't. I'll leave them in. Oh, did I just throw that in the wrong thing? No, I didn't. Okay. Well, that's it for Leo. Thanks so much for coming by, Leos. And stay tuned if you have, sun, rising, moon to check out the rest of the signs, or the rest of your signs, or for a partner, friend, or whoever, I always let them run. Well, you see, with mine, I'm sun, rising, moon are right in a row. I have Capricorn sun sign. I have Scorpio rising. And I have Sagittarius moon. So I start with Scorpio, and I watch Sag and Cap. They're all bing, bang, boom. Right in a row there. Alrighty then. So let's go on to the next sign, which is going to be our Virgo friends. It's your full moon this month, Virgo. That's pretty relevant, it's very relevant. You're going to have your full moon on the 7th. I forgot to wish happy birthday to the Aries, didn't I? Oh well, sorry. Yeah, but your full moon is a very powerful time. Things could come to fruition. You could have major insights and downloads, have your dreams. Things that were started back around the time of your birthday, this is for Virgo, could all of a sudden come to conclusion in one way or another. It does, that things could be coming to a conclusion in that sense. Okay, let's go ahead and get the next 3 cards from our Chrysalis Tarot for our Virgo friends. This is for Virgo Sun, Rising, Moon, or anybody who has a lot of Virgo in their chart. Let's see what we got here. 1, 2, 3, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3. 3 of Scrolls, which is the 3 of Swords. Oh, this fox has a little tear in his eye. 5 of Mirrors. Boy, has that kind of been out, like a lot of the readings so far. And then the Visionary, which is the Knight of Scrolls, or the Knight of Swords. Well, I mean, we can't ignore the elephant in the room. You've got the 10 of Swords and the 3 of Swords. So some of you have really been through something. Virgos, you guys are so sensitive. You're so sweet and sensitive souls. And people do shit to you all the time, and you don't say anything. Like, you just let it, you let it, you let it go. You're not one to cause a big stink or cause a big drama, but it looks like some of you have really been hurt. Here we go again with the Wheel of Fortune and the 2 of Rods, though. It's saying it was all part of the big plan. Whatever this wasn't meant for you. We're going to see a lot of this as Pluto changes sign, and even Saturn to some extent too, because it's like what's not meant for you is going to be moved away. Definitely with the Pluto. And here's the thing about the Saturn energy going into Pisces, that's your opposite sign. So let's pull this wheel out one more time for just a quickie explanation here. Here's your Virgo. This is you. So directly across the wheel is the Pisces energy. So as Saturn goes into Pisces and starts making its way up the degrees, it's going to be hit. If you have any planets in Virgo whatsoever, even if it's not your sun sign, bing, 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 it's going to be opposition. And Saturn oppositions can bring about, it's like, we're ending, this is done. Face facts, it's done. Saturn doesn't coddle. And Pluto doesn't coddle. It's like, they just cut you off, that's the end. Now, move on. Lacking, Saturn and Pisces can be more emotional. And maybe that's even it. What I'm feeling for some people out there, this purple color is standing out. So we got purple here and purple there. The purple is your chakra, is your 3rd eye. So it's your psychic eye. So there could be some kind of psychic insights about this. Well, usually when these big devastations come, we usually, especially if it's like a relationship, usually you have an inkling, or I've talked with people their spouse is cheating. I mean, you had an inkling, you definitely knew, on some level you knew, but chose maybe not to look at it or face it. Full moon in your sign, you're going to be facing up to something here. But again, it's all for this higher good. It's all because to clear this crap out of the way so your true path can unfold. Because you have the 2 of Rods. This is an excellent, excellent card. This is half the battle of life. It's finding your true path. Not going down the wrong road anymore. Saturn says enough of that. Here's another thing. It may have to do with relationships, specifically if you are, particularly if you're Virgo rising, because it's going to be in your 7th house relationships. It all happened for a reason. It's all coming out in the wash. And yes, I see you have hurt feelings about it. You might be reading some letters or some emails or some texts or something here. With these scrolls, you might be looking over some kind of thing and reading it and it may make you sad. It may bring a tear to your eye. Five of Mirrors is the Five of Cups, again, being in a little bit of a depressive kind of a state, you know. But the Wheel of Fortune trumps all because it's the major arcana card, and it's fate and destiny. So fate has played a hand in it, and it is for your highest good, and it is here to help you you've got to get past this, and then this whole new day is dawning here. This is the Knight of Swords, or the Visionary. So you may be interacting with an air sign person, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. We're not going to have, well, Pluto's going to go into Aquarius. That's one of the things on the 23rd. That's some air sign energy, so it might be around that time. Maybe that, because a Pluto in Aquarius could be very jolting. It can be quite an awakening for a lot of people. That might be the turning point. That might be the turning point where you get yourself back on track, I feel, for many. And again, if you don't relate to this stuff here, then, you know, check out your rising or moon. It's not going to apply to everybody. But something's coming to an end, and not surprising with it being your full moon. That's, you know, right there with the full moon. That's exactly what it means and how it happens. Okay? Animal totem for Virgo. The wasp, it stings. Stings like a bitch, they said. It stings. You guys have been through something. Somebody's been harsh and cruel with you. And, you know, you guys, again, you're so good soldiers. You just soldier on. You know, you take it with a lump of salt or whatever that you know, you just keep going forward. And, you know, sometimes people don't think of you as emotional. They think of you as, you know, oh, she's strong. She can handle it. But, you know, you have feelings too. You know, you do. I get it. Because I have that. I have that Capricorn Scorpio stuff. And everybody's like, oh, it just makes you strong. And it's just like, dude, I have feelings too. You know, I'm not just always the one that has to be the strong one. Sometimes it's hard to be the strong one all the time, right? Okay, Wasp. Fearless warrior spirit of the sky. Shamanic healing, transformation. Stinging, attacking, fighting the good fight. Impassioned actions makes dreams come true. Yeah. So don't spend too much time on this. I know you've been hurt, Virgo. What's the action? What's being shown to you? What's beyond this? Look beyond this to the next step of your evolution, or the next step of your life path, your life's journey. Okay, let's get you lots of love. Let's see. You know, this is good advice too about this, you know, fearless warrior spirit of the sky. That's you calling on that stuff within yourself. Okay. Love. It says engaged. Oh, maybe that's what. Somebody I feel really strong. Somebody you're looking on social media, or some kind of somebody got engaged, your ex or somebody, and it just puts you right down in that hole. But you'll come out of it. You'll come out of it. Okay. And you'll be engaged too before you know it, if that's what you're wanting in your life. Okay, here we go. Yes, no, maybe for Virgo. It says soon. You'll be engaged soon. There you go. And then finally, the lot of answers. Or Proverbs, rather. This one in the back here wants to come out. Here it is. A little knowledge is a dangerous thing. Yeah, I feel like this is, again, relating to this. I feel like it might not be the engagement thing, but some of you might have, you know, because you see things on social media, you get these little bits of information, and you don't have the full story. So if that's the case, for some people out there, I feel that's the case. Before you go getting yourself into a big tailspin, make sure that you really have the full story. There's been many times I see things on social media, and I'll be like, oh, I saw this, I thought this was this. And like, no, is this a bubble? It's like a completely... Don't try not to spiral down in your head too much, making, you know, things about that maybe not true. That this may be not true. For some people, it's definitely true. I mean, clearly, Ten of Swords and Three of Swords. But you can't... Let's not focus so much there. Let's focus here. I mean, because as bad as these are is as good as these are. And a wheel is, I always say, I didn't put the Wheel of Fortune on the cover of my Rock and Roll Tarot deck for no reason. It's one of the best cards in the entire deck. You know, it really is. I'm not just, you know, trying to blow smoke up your butt and say, oh, it's not that bad. You know, you've been through something, but the wheel is one of the best cards in the deck. And the wheel goes down, and the wheel turns back up again. So better days are coming. It's okay, Virgo. You know, take a little time to, you know, deal with your grief, and then move on. Okay. Let's pick these up because we're going to move on to the next sign, which is going to be Libra. I'm just going to make it right down over here. I need to get this in a better spot where you can really see it. There we go, Libra. Okay, this is going to be the reading for Libra. Again, you are one of the cardinal signs as well. Let me pull out the little astrology wheel real quick to explain this. So here's you, Libra, and your exact opposite sign is Aries. So every year at this Aries Ingress, this is your exact opposite sign. It's opposing everything. You have Jupiter in this sign right now. That's going to be opposing all your Libra stuff. The Aries Ingress, the new moon, all over here. You are also part of the cardinal cross. And whenever the sun moves into a cardinal sign, that's when the seasons change, and we all feel it. But particularly, you know, Libras feel it a lot because you're cardinal. You are a cardinal sign, and of course, you have all these other big transits that are coming up. They're all are in your chart somewhere, you know. So everybody's going to feel it. That's why this Aries Ingress reading can be so helpful, because it is the only astrology readings that I offer are the Ingress readings. So it will be available till the end of this month, and end of March, and we will dive into all this. Where's that Pluto in your chart? Where's that Saturn in your chart? Where's this, you know, we'll look at it all and more. We'll look at, you know, any transit that you're having. Okay. All right, Libra. Libra sun, rising moon, what's going on? What's going on? I have to sing that at least once a month. Ooh, looking nice here, Libra. Oh, boy, I can relate to this. Isn't this a thing that happens quite a bit? All right, this is going to be from the Chrysalis Tarot. We're going to do 3 more cards from the Chrysalis Tarot. Chrysalis Tarot, Chrysalis Tarot, Chrysalis Tarot, Chrysalis Tarot, Chrysalis Tarot. Chrysalis Tarot, Chrysalis Tarot. The King of Mirrors, Sojourner. Ooh. Ace of Stones, which is the Ace of Pentacles. You got 2 aces. And then finally, Kali, or the Tower. Yeah, well, that Pluto energy, that can bring that Tower energy. Well, the thing I got out of this, well, this looks beautiful. This is like you're creating something, the Ace of Cups, you're creating something, and you're really working on it to perfect it and get it just right, and you really, you know, you're putting a lot of effort into it, and you're enjoying it, and you know, it's really vibing with you, and then somebody comes along and copycats or takes it away in some way. Could have been, for some of you, it might have been a job you really loved, and somehow it was taken away, or a position that you've been working for, and somebody else got it. But it reminded me right away of how people steal shit on the internet. I mean, it's just so rampant. And it's not only in the YouTube, you know, which I'm not even going to open that can of worms. And, you know, it's like, whatever. It is what it is. But it's rampant everywhere. Artwork gets stolen. T-shirt designs get stolen. Music gets stolen. You put your heart and soul into something, and then some jerk-off comes along and just copies you, and they're getting the accolades for it. It's like, hey, wait a minute here. I'm the one who made this whole thing and did this whole thing and ironed it all out and figured out how to do it and everything else, and then these jerk-offs just come along, and you know, this feels really flippant, and really flippant, and really the guile, you know, the guile they have. But this is powerful, and this is something unto itself here. This is the work unto itself. It's gonna happen. You know, I've come to the conclusion that it's just gonna happen, and there's not really a whole lot you can do about it. It's just gonna happen, and you've just got to keep on doing what you're doing. I mean, with the Eight of Pentacles, it does talk about how you really enjoy it anyway. You know, it's something that you're thriving in, or gives you some kind of satisfaction anyway. So why not keep with it? King of Mirrors, that's the King of Cups. So for some of you, if you're looking for a romance, this could be in the form of this King of Cups. The King of Cups is a water sign energy, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. It could be talking about how the Saturn's making this big move into Pisces, into the water sign energy. Could be talking about that time frame, which is the 7th. But also, as far as love goes, the King of Cups, he or she, it's no gender, they are very much more mature. They don't play head games. They're not, messing around and doing this. They're emotionally ready for a relationship. And this could also be somebody very creative with this energy, because he's looking over here at the Ace of Stones, which is a new beginning in money, usually. Excuse me, it's the Ace of Pentacles. And it's rock solid, I'm kidding, with this stone. This reminds me of the Saturn energy. We all are stepping into something. This Saturn will always build this new foundation for us. So this King of Cups or King of Mirrors, he's going to be helpful or part of this new foundation. I mean, Kali's here. The Tower is here. We can't ignore that. It really feels like it's more about this. It's like, how upset do you want to let this get you? You've been working so hard building this up, and then somebody comes along and screws it up or whatever they do, or steals your idea or copycats you, and all this stuff that goes on. Are you going to let it be a tower? Or are you going to stay in that original vibe of creation that you were in and keep working the process and keep doing your thing and keep staying in your flow? Because this is part of this. This is part of this. We could cut this reading right down the middle here, or sort of screw you. This and these are two separate things. Notice how this goes in a circle. On the original card, it's not like that. I changed that because it's like you're in your protective shield of your own work. It's floating around. You're shutting out the world. You're in your own space of creating this thing. And by doing so, you're aligning with your soul's purpose. You're getting closer. And then the people will feel it and they will show up. Yeah, stuff like this happens all the time. You feel exploited. Yeah, when people steal your shit, you feel very exploited. And it's like, I put in all the hours figuring this out, and you're just going to come along and copycat it right away. And it can be, you can go down this path. I mean, I love this illustration. Wow. This can be your own mind. Or you could stay here. You could stay in this vibe and just say, shit's going to happen. There's nothing I can really do about it, other than keep on keeping on. That's what they're saying. Wow, there's an old expression, right? Keep on keeping on. All right, let's get the animal totem for Libra. Libra, your animal totem's coming right up now. Is that noise? I'm gonna make a loud noise real quick because I thought I heard something. Just hold your ears. I'm gonna clap really loud. Ah! I'm gonna spray. I thought I heard something. Probably was nothing, but I'm so a little paranoid about this mice energy. I don't want them around me. You got the beautiful hummingbird as your animal totem. Yeah. This is a beautiful energy of love. Many of you may be falling. If you're single and looking, you could absolutely be falling in love when the hummingbird shows up. And it's probably going to be with this King of Cups. Again, the astrology as far as, it's going to be, it doesn't have to be a water sign, and it may not be a water sign. But the King of Cups is all about the love energy. That's their jam. The Cups is love. Front and flat out, it is. If you do the regular playing cards, the Cups is equivalent to the hearts in the regular playing card. So it's matters of the hearts always when we're dealing with or looking at this cup energy. But let's read what it says. Okay, let's see here. Love abounding, laughter and joy, elevated vibrations bring glimpses of magic. The fairy folk surely dance nearby, savor the sweet bouquet and taste the nectar of life. Yeah. So, yeah, this Kali's here. It's right in their face. But the not the butterfly, the hummingbird. It's just tasting that nectar and that flower. It's not worried about what Callie's barfing out here, or it's not worried about being screamed at or whatever's happening here. It's just enjoying the beautiful energy that is always present. There is always beauty amidst the chaos. The guides come through with that a lot. Beauty amidst the chaos. There is beauty amidst the chaos, for sure. And it's there for you. Okay. Let's go over and get our love reading. I'm hearing, I'm just a love machine. And I won't work for nobody but you. Hey, hey, hey. I'm just a love machine. Do, 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 do. Okay, let's get that. Libra! What do you got for our Libra friends here? We've got hoish. Oh, God. Well, that might be what you've dealt with in the past. This guy is not hoish. I shouldn't have probably not put that in there. Sounds a little whatever. Just means like a player, hoish, if you're not familiar. Maybe you've dealt with players in the past. This person does not feel like a player. No. Okay, let's get the next one here. This is going to be your yes, no, maybe. It says possibly. So that's a maybe. It's possible. Possible, plausible. Okay, what's going to be the little bit of knowledge from our lots of wisdom or whatever? It says it's never too late to be what you might have been. That's great. I like that one. Well, yeah, or some of you may have been in a relationship with somebody who took all your stuff, like something you built this life together, but mostly it was on your back or on your idea or on your money, and then you got to give them half, or you feel like this is crazy. Why do I have to give them half my royalties or half of this or half of that? But it's freeing. It's going to be freeing. It's a necessary cleansing. It's a necessary purging that is necessary for you to be who you are going to be. It's never too late to be who you might have been. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, let's get rid of these, and then we're going to go on to the next portion of the next sign, which is going to be our Scorpio friends. Well, Scorpio, you guys are going to feel this stuff too a lot because Pluto is your ruling planet. And then if you're a Scorpio rising, Pluto is your ruling sign. So absolutely the Scorpios are getting, again, everybody's getting impacted by all of this stuff. And if you want to look into it further, that Aries Ingress reading will cover all this. It'll cover the Saturn and Pluto. It'll cover the Pluto, the Saturn and Pisces, Pluto. We go over every bit of it. It's a transit reading, basically, for this current time. And there's so much happening in this current time. It'll all be addressed, okay? So if you're interested, check out the website. It'll be available till the end of March. What's that? Okay. Let's see here. You've got Chariot, Empress, and Page of Pentacles. Nice start, Scorpio. That Pluto energy, you're used to working with it. Like, I have Scorpio rise. I have a bunch of planets. Well, this one wanted to come out. I'm going to put it there. It kind of flipped backwards from the rest of the cards. I have Scorpio rising, so my whole chart is ruled by Pluto. But these are flipping. I forgot. Oh, I've said this all along. With me being a Capricorn sun sign, I've had many blessings on Saturn transits. Because Saturn is the ruler of my sun sign, and therefore I am acclimated to that energy. I'm no stranger to Saturn energy. And I'm no stranger to Pluto energy, and neither are you. Neither are you. Because Pluto is your ruling planet. So you're working, that's your jam. Pluto, and look at this reading. Wow. Everybody's getting swords and all this stuff. Their lives are getting torn apart. Here comes Scorpio. Scorpio, it's just another day in Scorpio's, the world of Scorpio. You guys are just like, whatever. Not me. Yeah, but it looks, you have a beautiful reading here. Chariot, the highest success card in the deck. Big time, this could be some kind of major achievement for you, where you've been, because we've had the South Node in Scorpio, and it's still in there until June or July. But, we've had eclipses in Scorpio. Scorpios have really been through the ringer quite a bit here, too, over the last, few years and beyond. But this could really be the event you've been waiting for. And the Chariot's going to put you in this beautiful place of the Empress. You always want to see this Empress card. Now, it does represent pregnancy. So for some people, it could be just a pregnancy. Somebody's going to have a baby. And she almost looks like, it's the Seven of Stones or Seven of Pentacles, but when I looked down, she looked pregnant to me too there, didn't she? A little bit, you know. So there could be a pregnancy around, definitely, for some people. If it's not you, it might be a relative or a good friend or whoever. But beyond the pregnancy thing, because the Empress is much more than just pregnancy. You know, that's so almost old paradigm. You know, women are pregnant, that's all they're good for almost. You know, the Empress is flourishing. The Empress is sitting pretty. Talk about change amidst the chaos. And here's the Empress. Here's Scorpio. Yeah, okay. What's next? You know, not. And this card even reminds me. It's actually a king, but it reminds me of a little bit of that as well. And then the rabbit on here too, with the that's fertility as well. So you're moving into a very fertile time. Fertility is the very top word on here. The most, when I made these cards, I put the most powerful word that I associate with it. If you had to do just one word per card, those are the words that are on the top of these cards, okay? Achievement, fertility, payment. So, you know, you're in this state of abundance. It really looks nice for you, Scorpio. And there seems like there is news coming about money, or some kind of a money thing that is coming through for you. Now, we're talking about Page of Pentacles, so we're talking about earth sign energy. We could be talking about this full moon in Virgo, which is an earth sign, and that's happening over here on the 7th. Hope we can see everything here. Yeah, so could be some, and we've got a 7 and a 7 here. So that 7th, that full moon, well, that's also the day that Saturn moves into Pisces. So that could be a really good day for you. And that Pisces energy is really nice for the Scorpio to work with. And Saturn isn't bad either, you know. So it's going to be, I feel like, from judging from this, it looks beautiful. So the King of Scrolls. The King of Scrolls is, the scrolls are the swords. So this is the King of Swords. This could be, usually it's like somebody who's a lawyer or involved with legal things. But it also could be air sign energy. And guess what else is happening with this? The big shift of Pluto is going into an air sign as well. So it could be talking about that. But I'm looking at this image, and look at all this long scroll of stuff they got there. So maybe this is this big long contract, or there's books there too. There's books. If you look up here, there's some books. Maybe some of you are writing a book or going to sign a book contract even, you know. Does seem to be this long, I just heard long form. I'm not sure what that's about, long form. I've heard that before. That's not, I think that might be having to do with like films and scripts and stuff, long form. Or is it writing too, long form? But whatever it is, long form definitely came through for me. And there's this little note up here. Can we see what that says? I wonder if we can. I got the good glasses on, but now we're gonna really have to break out the magnifying glass too. I have this one is the best one, because it has a light on it too. What does that say? Does it say anything that we can read? Ooh, even with that I can't. There's a super magnifying glass. Can we read it? Oh. I can't read it. I don't think it really says anything. I think it's like the old-timey, when you used to rough in text, you just kind of do like scribbly handwriting stuff. But it's really drawing me. And there's another book up here too. That note thing is really, really drawing me. I want to see what it says. Clearly I do. I broke out the damn magnifying glass to try to see what it says. But I can't read it. So there's something in that. There's something in that. It's not, there's something above your head that is a message, or from spirit, or possibly a message from, you know, somebody with a long contract or something here. But it's not fully, I feel like it's not fully manifest yet. You can't read it because it's not fully in the 3D yet. It's still in the ethers. It's not fully manifest yet. Yeah, you've got 7 of Stones here, which is the 7 of Pentacles. I see how it is. She's got the stones piled around her now. I see what that is. But she's there in her little spot, playing her lute, playing some music, having some time by herself to play music. I'll go for that. That also sounds good to me. And then the final card is the 10 of Mirrors, which is the 10 of Cups. Of the minor arcana cards, The Ten of Cups, so Ten of Mirrors in this case, is probably the best card in the deck. It just means the 10 is the ultimate amount of joy, of love, of happiness. It's also the marriage card too. So somebody, there could be babies coming and we're getting married, that kind of thing. But it's bigger than all that. Again, we're not living in an age where a woman's highest aspiration is to get married and have babies. Not that that's, I had babies. I'm not saying that that's not a great aspiration, but we're not limited to that. So this Ten of Cups can be much more than just, you know, getting married. It's the ultimate happiness. And it also does encompass the entire family. On the traditional tarot, there's the whole families there with the rainbows and everything. Wow, I mean, I've been tiptoeing through these readings. 10 of Swords, 3 of Swords, Kali. But look at Scorpio here. Wow, beautiful. Well, again, not surprising. If anybody knows how to deal with that Pluto energy, Scorpio, you've been living with it your entire life. It's part of your very essence. You are going to be in super duper creative mode. I've been saying super duper a lot. I don't know why. But you are going to be in major creativity here with the Cheetah and the Empress. These are both cards of being really prolific. I mean, gosh, I don't know if I could handle being any more prolific. I got so many irons in the fire right now. Okay, Cheetah, empath, healer, prolific creator. Things happening at lightning speed. Staying alert to synchronistic signs. The path of the soul practitioner. Yeah, I mean, you may be working on your own. She's definitely off by herself. But a lot of times that's how it is when you're in the creative process. You need to kind of shield yourself away to do your creative work. But then, like the Ten of Cups and Chariot are both very much cards of outward expression. So then you come out and you really, you show your stuff to the world. Okay, let's go ahead and get your Lots of Love card for Scorpios, or not card, your Lots of Love lot. Let's pull on. Got childish. Well, you know, it could be just dealing with childish energy, especially if there's pregnancies around and stuff like that. But it could also be somebody that you've dealt with in a relationship is childish, and then you go, not the mama. Not the mama. Get your shit together, not your mama. Okay, then it's unsure on the thing there, the question. Now let's get you lots of proverb for Scorpio peeps. Lots of proverb. Oh, what a tangled web we weave. When first we practice to deceive is the thing. Maybe that's what this is all about. Wow, this big long list. I keep kidding. Or maybe it's just your to-do list, you know, I don't know. And looking at this card, I didn't look that close. But they look really, look at their face. They look kind of overwhelmed and a little stressed, you know. At first I thought they looked so peaceful, but look at their brows are furrowed. They have the furrowed brows, and they're looking kind of... This is a lot. Oh, what a tangled web we weave. Now that could mean, this is tangled up too. If you look, these ribbons with all these mirrors kind of seem to be all tangly. If I can show you that one again. So it might be like, you know, well, don't lie, I guess. That's the, you know, the parable. What a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. You know, Scorpios are pretty upfront, but they do lie, and they will lie, and they will stick to that lie to the end. They will never admit that they're lying. But a lot of times Scorpios see so much, they just, you know, it's not lying, it's just like, oh, I don't even want to open that can of worms, let them find out on their own. It's not my place to tell them. That's what I feel a lot of times. It's not my place. They'll figure it out. Not when doing readings, I'm just talking about people that I know and shit I see just on a day-to-day basis. If I see something in a reading, I'm going to tell you. So be forewarned. But Scorpio wants the truth. You guys want that cold hard truth. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe don't get too embroiled into things that are, something's too, because look at here too. This complicated thing, and I keep getting that list. She's kind of looking away, and she's like, you know what, I don't really want to deal with this list and all this stuff. I'm just going to go off and play my lute in the woods and sing with the birds, and, you know, she's definitely turning her face away from this, you know. And look at this face, all stressed out, and look at this face, nice and peaceful. So it could be a lot of different things. Take it as it applies to you. All right. Okay, Scorpio. Well, dang, you guys got the best reading so far, I'm going to say. I think you definitely did. Well, again, you know, this is your vibe. This is Scorpio's just like, Pluto, step aside, everybody. I got this. You know? I know Pluto. Me and Pluto go way back. Okay, let me go on. I've got to write Scorp, but let's write Sag so I don't lose my spot. We're on Sagittarius. I do need to get a really quicker drink of water before we do the last 3 here. Or last 4, actually. Well, this is going to be a long one. Well, that's because I did all that stuff with the astrology on the first part. That's why it's going to be so long. But let's get in here for Sagittarius's. 1, 2, and 3. We've got the 8 of Rods. Things moving quickly. To the Magician. Awesome. Empowerment. To off we go. I just heard off we go. Into the wild blue yonder. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Boom, boom. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. This one wanted to come out. What was it? 9 of Spirals, which is 9 of Rods. Okay. Do-do-do. I think that was an old airline commercial, maybe. I'm not sure, but it's coming through. Temperance, the Star, and 9 of Spirals. Wow, you've got 2. They're not depicted that way. Well, I guess the Star is. But both of these are angelic cards in the traditional tarot. You've got the Star raining down all these blessings upon you. And it's interesting that these horses are all over here because that's your... You know, you guys are the winged horse. You're the Pegasus, the star. You know, the star, the horses. That's your totem or your symbol. And then you've got this beautiful golden flower, which is the Temperance card. So it talks about how definitely spirit guides and angels are working with you. You're receiving blessings. Don't feel on guard. You know, there's no reason to feel on guard right now with the 9 of Spirals. And the way that all this crap's coming out of his mouth like that, I feel like they're telling you, you know, people are talking a bunch of crap. People are talking, they're just vomiting up all this stuff that's just not true, or maybe it's true to them but not true to you. Or with this clock or the watch here, maybe it was true at one time, but it's not true. It's not your truth. With the Magician, you're being called to live your personal truth. Okay? And the 8 of Rods is pointing right at it. Everything, and the Star is right below it. Magician, magician, magician. You can make magic. You know, you can be the magician and make magic in your life. You can perform miracles in your life, I'm hearing. So the 8 of Rods is like, it's time to follow your true North Star. You've got the star at your back. You've got the universe is working for you. It's time to leave with to leave the troubled waters behind and move forward into the new life that lies ahead of you. Some of you may actually be taking a trip or a journey somewhere, doing some traveling. If you can't find anybody to go, you might go by yourself. For some of you, it's just like, hey, nobody wants to go with me. Screw it, I'm not missing this. I'm going on my own. I've done that before. I've gone, you know, traveled on my own. It's just like, and you know, sometimes it's kind of better to go on your own, even or not traveling, but just to different things, because then you talk to more people, especially like music and concerts. I don't like to go. I'm real picky about who I'll go see a concert with, because if somebody's going to be yapping in my ear the whole time, I'm here to listen to the music and watch the show. I don't want to hear you yelling in my ear the whole time, you know. So this is a path that you're going to forge on your own, but you're not. It seems like you're on your own in the 3D reality, but you're not, because the star is there right with you. I think there's going to be a lot of naysayers talking a lot of smack here, vomiting out a lot of crap. Oh, you can't do that. You, trying to discourage you. They're coming from their own fears. They have their own fears about these situations. Like, they could never see themselves doing that. So therefore, they're talking to you as to, you know, you shouldn't be doing it. But you've got you've got Temperance and the Star working with you, and, you know, you're in the zone. And this is something is unfolding for you, and it's going to start happening really quickly. If anything, where you've been stuck, bam, things are going to really start moving forward. Moving on, baby, yeah, we're gonna reach the ground. Oh, moving on, baby, yeah, I'm gonna touch the ground. Snake. Yeah, some of these people are snake. I think some of them, this even looks like snakes a little bit, don't they? These puffs coming out of that mouth. Well, snake is Kundalini, and it's a Kundalini awakening, and it has a lot of good things. But I feel like some of these people are just kind of... You don't listen to them. Listen to your inner soul's calling. Listen to your true heart. Pay attention to your heart. Listen to your heart, yeah. Listen to your heart. Okay, Quetzalcoatl, those are the goddesses. Okay, Kundalini activation, carnal knowledge. Portal to awakening, primal chi medicine. The new you is emerging now. Yeah, the snake sheds their skin. You're going to be going through a shedding of skin, like the snake. A transformative time. We all are with these planetary events. And again, if you want me to look at your chart with the Aries Ingress, I can look at your chart and we can dive in. But it's a shedding of your skin. And this old stuff, you're not carrying this around anymore. These are flying away like the... You might want to, because there's this journaling text here in the back. Am I going to try to read that? I tried to read it on another one. I couldn't see anything. I'm not really that compelled to read it, but... and I really can't. Maybe you're going to like journal this and then like throw it out, scatter it to the wind or something. Maybe that's some kind of a... Because this can be a card of writing too. Maybe it'd be helpful to like write down or start journaling even. You may feel empowered or be able to like kind of get your ideas, and you might start channeling with all this star energy, You might start channeling too. But yeah, definitely this is flying away from you. Let that go. Let that be free. You stick to your own, what you know to be true for yourself. That's the biggest thing with the magician. To thy known self be true. Yeah. All right, let's get that. Lot of love. I have two. I'm going to pull two. I usually don't. It says listened and kind. Listen to the spirit guides, not to those jerk-offs. And then kind. I keep saying jerk-offs. Where am I coming up with that term from? I don't know where that's coming from. I've been saying it a lot lately. All right, let's get your yes, no, maybe. Uncertain. So that's just what it means. Uncertain. Not sure. Maybe. And your little bit of wisdom from the lots of parables or lots of these. What are they? A stitch in time saves 9. Well, that's about being more efficient. A stitch in time saves 9. Well, maybe you're going to write a group email to all these people or a group text and just say, you just have to write it once. Sorry, I don't want to hang out with you. I'm flying the coop. Later, dudes. I'm out. Could be something like that. But it's more about stitch in time saves 9 is an old saying that just means do it right the first time. Measure once, or measure twice, cut once. Do it right the first time. So make sure get your ducks in a row, and then you'll save yourself time, and because you're going to be really... It looks like you're moving into a phase where you're going to be a lot more self-reliant, Sagittarius. So you got to measure twice, cut once. That's a similar thing. Just means be careful. Save yourself time. If you make a mistake, or like I like to crochet, and if you screw up, like I'll be coming back over the next row in the Afghan, and I see that I missed a stitch down there. I'm like, oh, damn! I got to pull that whole row out and pull it. So if I would have just been more careful the first time through, I wouldn't have to, take some more time that way. Anywho, let's go on to the next sign, which is Capricorn. All right, Capricorn. Well, I think all Capricorns are dancing a jig of delight. It's like, bye-bye, Pluto. Don't let the door hit you in the butt on the way out. That's what Capricorns are saying, right? But we're not done with Capricorn yet. I mean, we're not done with Pluto yet, I should say, as Capricorns, because I'm one too. Pluto, it's going to come back in. It's one more whole year before it's completely gone. It's going to be dipping in and back, dipping out in and out at 29 degrees of Capricorn, critical degree, which is my south node too. So it's been like that too. The other thing is Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. So just like Scorpios feel to work with that Pluto energy, all Capricorns have this innate ability to work with the Saturn energy because it's your ruler. And also Saturn, you know, you're used to it, and also it can affect you more maybe than other people. Oh, there's your 3 cards, I guess. Huh? Yep, exactly 3. They just flew right out. So you've got 4 of Pentacles, Knight of Rods, and the Judgment card, okay, for your first 3. Again, you know, there's so much astrology. I am offering that Aries Ingress reading, and if you order the Aries Ingress reading, it will address all this stuff as it relates specifically to your birth natal chart there, okay? All right, Capricorn. What is coming up for March for a Capricorn? We've got the Pilgrim, which is the Page of Scrolls, which is Swords, Page of Swords. Then we've got the 3 of Spirals, which is the Spirals are the 3 of Rods. This is such a good card. It looks so ominous. I don't know about that one. And then 2 of Scrolls, which is the 2 of Rods. Something good is popping for you guys. You know, it looks really nice. When you get the 2 and the 3 of Rods, this is talking about, this is a very positive card. Doesn't it look so kind of like depressing, or I don't know, like hiding? But the 3 of Rods is that card of your ship is coming in. This is a major success card that you've got here. And then you've got the 2 of Rods, and you know what to do with it. Well, Capricorn certainly does. You see the ships coming in, you're making your plans, you're laying out, some of you are actually making plans that looks like with like maybe architectural plans, you know, I'm going to make a loud noise. I just heard something. I'll make a loud noise real quick. Ha! Could be architectural plans, getting building a home, or having something remodeled, a business or a home, or it could be contracts of some sort. But he's stepping on them, but I feel like he's happy about it. To me, it feels so happy. It feels like, oh, I'm so happy we're finally getting the plans together or whatever. And even if you look at this one, it's called the Pilgrim. It's Page of Swords, but they're ready to move. They got their llama and their stuff. They're ready to move. So some of you may be moving and actually building a house, or, you know, doing some remodeling. And there's even a house in there too. Some of you may be moving somewhere more quiet. So I'm looking at this. I would love that too. And there's this big bustling city. They're like, it's almost like they're walking away. Like, I'm gonna take my llama and my stuff, and I'm gonna go raise alpacas and live in the country. You know, something more simple. They're done with that. Enough of that already. That's not, well, it could be because Capricorns are Earth, but typically Capricorns are involved in business and all that stuff. Yeah, 4 of Pentacles, that's always that. They call it the Miser card, but it's also a card of just, I'm feeling paired with these cards that we've reached some kind of financial security, which this can also refer to. We've got this financial security. We've got this foundation in which to build on, and we're ready to go. You've got this fire sign energy, which there is the Aries Ingress and the new moon in Aries. And again, you are one of the cardinal signs. You are the 4th of the cardinal signs. The cardinal signs are Capricorn, Cancer, Aries, and Libra. So it forms the cardinal cross. And every time a planet crosses over one of the cardinal crosses, we move into a new season. Of course, yours is the solstice in the winter, well, in December. But being a fellow cardinal sign, every year you do feel this Aries energy because it's squaring up with all your Capricorn stuff. But looks like something this could be really developing, really get off the ground when this Aries stuff pops in here. Or you could just be dealing with a fire sign person, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. We've got this Judgment card here. This is always a big completion of a karmic cycle. And talk about completion of a karmic cycle. Well, not only the Saturn is a completion of the karmic cycle, but the Pluto coming out of Capricorn, that's a completion of a 250, 300-year cycle. I mean, huge, huge cycles. So huge cycles are being completed. We're coming out on the other side. We're reassessing what we held as... so I feel like a lot of us are going to be like, I always wanted this thing, but now I want something completely different. And maybe it took Pluto going through your sign to really, you know, fight against it, because you're just like, no, of course I want to live in the city where all the action is. Of course I want this, 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 and this. And now, after Pluto's come through and kind of had its way with you and ripped you apart and put you back together and you're stripped down to your true soul's essence. And you're just like, you know, really, I'm not that person. This is really who I am. And it might not be with the llamas in the country or whatever, but it's just a symbol of whatever it might be. When Pluto went in 2008, who were you then and who are you now? It's really worth looking at, because I'm sure you've been transformed quite a bit. All right, animal totem for Capricorn, the peacock. Boy, look out, Capricorn. Peacock is about strutting your stuff, shaking that tail feather, look at me. Peacock is not a wallflower, okay? Flamboyant, elegant, proud, sacred, death, resurrection, immortality. The phoenix rises. Well, yeah, the phoenix is Pluto rising from the ashes, of course. Adding color to your personal style. The spotlight is on you. Strut your stuff. And it doesn't the way these two look together, don't they look like they're like these happily dancing on the thing? And she's like, yeah, yeah. It feels like they're both like, woohoo. Very happy. Reasons to celebrate, apparently. That's what it totally looks like to me. All right. Let's get into your love. Lots of love for Capricorns. Kindred. So that means a kindred spirit. There's somebody that you're very much, could be this page of scrolls. Usually I don't, or it could be this guy, or girl, or whoever, this person, the Knight of Rods up here. And now we're going to get your question. It says, assumably, so that's like, yeah, pretty sure. And then last but not least, your lots of proverbs, so we can get the message. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Yeah, because sometimes with that Four of Pentacles, you know, that can be like, and that can be a Capricorn characteristic or trait where I'm holding everything tight, I'm not sure, you know, want to, but nothing ventured, nothing gained. These guys are definitely venturing. She's venturing even, you know, even though it's kind of, she seems like she might be uncertain. Am I doing the right thing? I don't know. But you got to follow that soul's calling, and then there's going to be, you know, much reason to celebrate, lots of happiness, you've been through this karmic cycle, and now it's coming to the end, and there will be reason to celebrate here. Okay. All right, Capricorns, looking good. Looking good. Let's do Aquarius. Is going to be up next as soon as I gather these cards out of the way. All right, Aquarius, talk about, here we go. Where's Pluto moving? Into your sign. Nobody living in this time frame has ever experienced this in this body. You may have had a past life where you experienced it, but you've not experienced it in this lifetime. Nobody has, because it hasn't been in, Pluto has not been in Aquarius since all the way back to the 1700s. So really, really long time. So it's going to be different. I mean, your lives will surely be transformed. Talk to some of the Capricorns that you know and say, hey man, what happened over the last, since 2008 to you? It could be happening to them, could be happening for you now. So it's going to be different for everybody. You know, if you want to order that Aries Ingress, which is the astrology reading, we will look in and we will see exactly where it's hitting in your chart. Okay, here we go. We've got Five of Swords, the Lovers, and the Three of Swords. Ooh. So, some of you are going through some issues with relationships. I need to get a drink of water real quick. Bum bum ba dum bum bum. Oh. All right, Aquarius. What is coming up for Aquarius friends for the month of March? I almost said May, but March is the time frame. Death. Ace of Stones, which is Ace of Pentacles, and Seven of Mirrors, which is Seven of Cups. Okay. Well, there's transformation happening. Something has gone as far as it's going to go. When you get that Five of Swords card, it's a stalemate. Some relationship has gone as far as it's going to go. It's just, it can't be, it's not going to, they don't want to budge and you don't want to budge. So if you're in any kind of situation, even if it's not your love relationship, Pluto's going to say, guess what? Gone. Pluto is death and rebirth. Pluto is death. And you do have the death card here. I doubt anybody's dying. I mean, in some cases, of course, there's always death in life. But it's saying it's time to let this go. And for some people, it's going to be your romantic relationship. Or at the very least, it's going to be somebody that you cared for quite a bit, you know, that you really cared for. And, you know, so there's going to be that element of it's somebody that you really cared for. It's somebody that, you know, it's hurtful. It's 3 swords. It's hurtful. So with Pluto, you know, Pluto takes no prisoners. You can do it the easy way or the hard way. Pluto is it's that let go or be dragged thing. You know, Pluto is not gonna play any games. You can't, you know, maybe Venus or some of the other planets, you can kind of, you know, say, oh, I don't want to do this, and you know, I'm gonna use my own personal free will, and I'm not gonna go along with this. Not with Pluto. Pluto's bringing something to an end. But it's okay. It's because its time has come. Its time has come to end. And for some of you, it might be the job because you got the Ace of Pentacles here. So there is some new money showing up. There is this redeeming thing of there is this Ace of Pentacles. There is this new. And I think it's the moon, but it really reminded me of the sun coming up. You know, the new day. There's going to be a new day dawning after the death, the natural occurrence of the death and rebirth. A new day will dawn, okay? And you will get a new job. For some of you, maybe you're in a bad relationship and you can't leave because you're financially dependent on them. And if that's the case, they're saying the money's going to come around. You'll have the money. Ace of Pentacles is the big redeeming card in this whole thing. And then the Lover's upright. For some of you, too, it could be you're still in your old relationship. Maybe it already ended and you've never really moved ahead. And you might be meeting somebody, even through work or something. 7 of Swords or Mirrors, which is 7 of Cups. This is this visualizing, dreaming your life into creation, dreaming it into what you really want it to be, because the Pluto energy can help propel you into this new life. The other thing is this mirrors, because they use the term mirror. So let's look at it that way, because there's some metaphysical teachings, a non-duality, where everything is a mirror of yourself reflecting back to you. And if you look, it's like these mirrors are cracked, you know. So how are you cracked? Well, even if a relationship is ending, and again, if this doesn't apply to you, you can go look at one of the other signs, but if a relationship is ending, if you're just going to sit there and blame it on what a big jerk off, here's that jerk off term again, I keep saying that, what a big jerk they were, you're never going to, there's things that need to be healed within yourself. What was being reflected back to you, number one. And number two, what part did you play in it? Because you did play a part. It's not this, they were the bad guy and you're the hero. You did things too. You definitely did. And it's not even about who's going to be the bad guy. You know, there ain't no good guy, there ain't no bad guy. There's just you and me and we just disagree. So there's that, you know. You're just, it's gone, it's whatever it is. It might be the job. For some it might be a job and you might be getting a new job. Whatever it is, it's the end of the road here. And Pluto is not playing. Pluto's not gonna, you can't negotiate with Pluto. Pluto's like off with their heads, done. So you might as well just accept the fact that something is ending, okay? That's gonna happen with the Pluto transit. And therefore, start looking for the new direction that you're meant to go in. And it's going to start with this Ace of Pentacles. It's going to start with this new beginning in money for you. Okay. Animal totem. I feel like I have to sneeze a little bit. Lion. Leo. I always think of this as Leo, which is your opposite sign. Your natural house of partnerships is Leo, if you're Aquarius rising particularly. The opposite sign of Aquarius is Leo. That's your counterpart, you know. And this girl here reminds me of a Leo. Because if you ever notice, Leos always have the big mane of hair. Think about Robert Plant, you know. And although he's not Leo, I believe he's Virgo, but he's got to have some Leo. I've never looked at his chart. But he's like the image of Robert Plant with the big hair. That's like, you know, that's Leo. Okay, Lion. Majestic, generous, fierce, proud, courageous king of the beasts. Sublime leadership inspires loyalty. Delegate authority, then bask in the sun. Yeah, it's like claiming your power with the Leo. It could also be talking about some of the things that are ending now may not be resolved until we get into the time of Leo, which is a long way off, actually. It's not until late July and August. We might be looking at late July and August before some of these things are resolved. But the Leo energy, or the lion energy, is about claiming your power. Yes, things come to an end, but life goes on. Reflecting on what happened, why it happened, what part did I play, how much of that is reflecting back my own actions and intentions coming back to me, and how can I do better in the next phase, in the next chapter of our life. Pluto's going to be in your sign for 20 years, so you got a little while to figure it out. Okay, let's look at this relationship. I got two. I'll throw them both out. Lovers and cheater. Ooh. Well, lovers and cheater, they both want to come out together. So some of you were cheated on. Simple as that. It happened, you know. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. This crazy love of mine. Do, 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 do. All right, yes or no for Aquarius? Soon. Soon. And then finally, the last little bit of advice. We've got... what goes around comes around. Yeah, I've seen that 100 times in the bar, 100 times. That's why I never ever mess with anything like that. I've seen, you sit there and you watch these people, their stuff play out, and, I know, like the guy comes, there's guys who are players, I've known them forever, and I deal with them on a certain level, but that's as far as it goes, because I have to be nice to them because they're customers or whatever. And even in bands and musicians too, a lot of these musician guys are players, So here they come, and he's coming in with this other girl, not his partner, not his wife, and then she's talking to me. Oh, blah, blah. I'm like, well, how you doing? I'm up because I gotta be nice to everybody. How you doing? Blah blah blah. How'd you guys meet? And she's like, oh, well, he's getting a divorce. His wife is this and that and controlling, and she's saying all these things about the wife, that the wife is so bad and he's this little saint. And I'm just like, I just listen, but, and then 6 months later, he's in with another girl, he's cheating on her. The leopard doesn't change his spot. You don't blame, the wife isn't an asshole. He's the asshole. Hello, McFly. He's the asshole, not her, okay? Don't believe that bullshit, okay? And maybe, we all get sucked into it. We're all falling in love. We want to believe the best. But leopard doesn't change its spots. A cheater's going to be always a cheater. And if they're screwing around on their ex-wife, their ex-partner, or soon-to-be ex, mark my words, they will screw around on you, okay? It's not a different situation. That's a flaw in that person's character. Maybe that's the thing you got to realize, It's not going to apply to everybody, I know, but... anyways, let's get this picked up and let's move on to the very last sign of Pisces. Pisces, this is going to be a big time for you too. Well, it's a big time for everybody. But Saturn is moving into your sign, okay? Saturn hasn't been in your sign since the early 90s. So if you're of a certain age, if you're old enough to remember, if you were at least, not a baby in the 90s, if you're grown, even if you were a young child in the 90s, sometimes these big events can happen, well, they will happen. But most of the time, reflecting back, think about that early 90s period. Who were you? Not only what was happening in the outside world, because everybody will go, well, that's the year this happened to me. Well, yeah, there's that aspect, and that's something to consider too, what happened to you. But who were you at that time? Who were you on the inner? Because the Pisces energy is very much about the inward expression or inward things. So how did you think? What were your emotions like? How did you think about things? What were your actions in those times? How did you see the world at that time? And how do you see it now? And how is it different? I mean, there's so much to think about and dive into and look into. And it's worth maybe actually, pulling up a spreadsheet or writing it on a piece of paper and writing down all these things. Well, who was I? What did I believe back then? How have even your beliefs changed? Your direction in life. There's so much to look at. It's such a key time. And Saturn can come in and really help you. It really can. I mean, people think it can force things to be bad. Not bad, but it can force you out of bad situations. I would say Saturn's the pusher man. Saturn doesn't say, oh, look, this is beautiful thing. Saturn's like, you're not doing this anymore, and it'll kind of force you to go another way by making things difficult. Often that is what Saturn will do, is make things kind of difficult for you. But that's not all Saturn is, not at all. Saturn is the wise elder. Saturn can guide you. Saturn can help you forge a new foundation for your life going forward. Something that's going to be really solid and really last another 30 years or so. You know, so Saturn can be your friend, and you can work with Saturn. Saturn is also karmic. So if people, things and situations that are going to be showing up at this time, they're going to be karmic situations. Okay. One thing I always tell people about these big transits like this, so with you, so the early 90s, 94 and 96, if you could go back in time and give your 1994 or 1995 self some advice, what would it be? And then you need to apply that advice to your life in the here and now. Okay, well, you got the Empress, so you're looking beautiful. Somebody might be turning out pregnant. This is you. Either somebody could be pregnant, or you are going, you know, somebody your help. This is your daughter or your sister, or, you know, you're involved in this pregnancy and excited about it. You're drawn into it. But again, the Empress is not just the highest aspiration for women in our day is not just to be pregnant. I mean, it's a great aspiration, not knocking it, but we can achieve so much more. When these cards were made, that was it. You know, the pregnant woman was the best you could achieve. So the Empress is kind of like the best you can achieve. You know, you're really in this space of abundance. You're really attracting. Yes, you're going to be, it's a dichotomy. You know, because here you are. Here you are, the Queen of Cups. But I like the way this laid out, because in this spread, you're looking at that Empress energy. You're looking at the Empress energy. Are there worries and doubts? Oh yeah, there's lots of them. But you're not entertaining those. Those aren't taking up space in your mind and heart. Focus your attention over here on what you're creating, because you're working with Saturn energy. You could really be creating something very long-term. And, you know, you have to address, you know, there's certain things, of course, that are going to have to be addressed, certainly. But you don't have to wallow in it. You don't have to constantly give it your attention. Deal with what has to be dealt with, but more so, the more you focus on this, the better future that you're building. Yeah, this Justice flew out, so some of you may be dealing with a legal matter, and the Five of Swords was here too. Scrolls is swords, right? Let me just double check that, yeah. So the Five of Swords is a stalemate. This is what it is, and that's that. And you might have to lawyer up and say, oh, I don't think so. This isn't what it is. I'm going to talk to my lawyer, and we're going to go... we're going to change this around. You know, the Justice card, they're looking at the imagery of it. It's not real stern or everything. Look, it's beautiful. You know, she's spreading her wings out. We've got this beautiful bird and the butterflies flying, and it looks like there's some kind of maybe a lion here as well. I was talking about Leo time for the last sign, so maybe something happening with Leo. Or even that just may have happened on the Leo full moon I think we had last month in February. But we're at this crossroad. There's things to worry about, but it's kind of like, just let the lawyer handle it. Or I was saying A&R person. Maybe it is an A&R person, but I was thinking of I keep wanting to say PR person too. Maybe it's the PR person, but maybe it's the ones at the work job that handle that stuff. That handle employee disputes. Those people. HR, the HR people. Let them, whoever handles it. You know, it looks like this is in a field of lavender too, if you look behind. So maybe you need to burn some lavender smudge or some lavender incense, or put some lavender, keep some lavender oil around you, because maybe that's going to really help you. You've got the Four of Mirrors, which is the Four of Cups. Why can't I? Oh, the Four of Cups is an offer. There may be some negotiations for many of you. You may be going through some kind of long-term thing where there's going to be some kind of negotiations. Four of Cups is an offer coming through. So she seems like this is you, or your energy, isn't it? Mermaid, Pisces, fish everywhere. So you're swimming in options is really what I want to say about it. You're swimming, you have a lot of options here. It almost reminds me of the Seven of Cups, where you have all these options. You're swimming in the options, and there's going to be more. This could even be maybe if you have a product of some sort, and maybe there's multiple people who are wanting to sign you up, or promote your product, or like if you were a writer or something, maybe multiple book people are coming, publishers are wanting you, or if you do some other kind of creative thing like a script, maybe multiple studios or people are coming at. Maybe this is your agent even. What I just got about her is she's fanning the flames. That could be good or bad. If you're in a really harsh disagreement, somebody's fanning the flames, you don't want that, because that means they're starting shit, basically, you know. But fanning the flames, I think of it as fanning the flames of passion. And although there's not a whole lot of love cards, other than, you know, this Empress could be a pregnancy, fanning the flames of passion for your work here, what you've written, or what you're proposing, or what you've created and what you've given birth to with this Empress energy, right? Okay, let's get the animal totem for our Pisces friends. Again, if you want to take a deep dive in that, order that Aries Ingress, and we'll go through your whole chart and we'll figure it all out. Now the bear, what does it look like to you? Is he backing off, going into the cave in hibernation, or is he coming out? You know, happy birthday too to all you March Pisces. I forgot to mention that too. Happy birthday, everybody. But yeah, at this time, in the Northern Hemisphere anyway, well, I don't know if they have these kind of bears down under, but you know, we have these grizzlies and brown bears and whatever. This is the time when they are coming out of hibernation in the Northern Hemisphere. This is the time when they've been in this hibernating period, and now they're coming out of it. So if you've been in this hibernation period, you're going to come out and be really strong and substantial. The bear energy is very much, you know, I am what I am. Here I am. I'm the bear. Majestic, wise spirit, star brother of the north. Retreat into the womb of the great mother to emerge anew. Define your territories, set boundaries, create sacred space. Yeah. Bear is a powerful ally. You may want to look that up a little bit more, because that's some energy, especially if you're going to be going to odds with somebody. You know, you're going to be in a disagreement of some sort, or there's a disagreement that needs to be settled. Bear energy is going to be very powerful. Okay. Socialize. So if this is your love thing. So if you're single and looking, you got to get out there and socialize. I'll tell you another thing with Saturn. If you are single and looking and you meet somebody at this time, yes, it's probably a karmic connection, but also it could be very long-standing. It could be your partner for many, many years to come, 30 years or more. Okay, next we're going to get our yes, no, maybe from the lots of answers. It says, indeed. Big time yes there. And then finally, it's happening for me. So finally, something's happening for you. But what does this say? It says, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Okay. Well, you know, Pisces, you guys are sometimes very much, you know, in the spirit realm, or in the realm of not in your mind at all. You're kind of swimming in the spiritual realm of the subconscious mind and everything. So it might be calling you to get a little bit more diligent about, let's go over these papers, talk to the lawyer, let's get over these papers, let's go through these options and sort these things out. Let's get our ducks in a row so Saturn can come in and bless us with some kind of long-standing stability and long-standing dignity is the word that's coming through. Long-standing dignity. Okay. All right, again, I mentioned it a bunch, but I mean, this Aries Ingress, all the stuff that's going on, there's so much astrology. I don't think since I've been doing these readings over the last 10 years on YouTube that I've had a month that's had this much astrology in it. I mean, there is a lot of astrology. So while I'm offering the Aries Ingress, anybody who wants to learn about how this astrology stuff might affect your chart, it's there to order on my website. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Have the best month ever. It's going to be a lot of changes, ups and downs. We're in a major shift. Hold on, batten down the hatches. Ride that wave of synchronicity into the new tomorrow. That's what they're saying. Okay, everybody. Have a great month. We'll see you again soon. If you want to have a mid-month update, Patreon, that's available on Patreon. Till next month. Bye.